Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Good evening, and thanks for joining us. I'm Jennifer Lindgren. The Cohocton United Methodist Church will be closing its doors after 191 years in operation. The decision was voted on last fall due to dwindling membership of the church. The Upper New York Conference of the United Methodist Church will assume ownership of the building upon its closing. The last service will be held this Sunday at 2 p.m. Bowling legends will be coming to Corning this weekend for the second annual PBA 50 Crystal Lanes Open. The event will host 96 bowlers, including some former champions of the Professional Bowling Association, such as Walter Ray Williams, Jason Couch, and Dave Wadka. The winner of the tournament will go home with $3,500. The event kicks off on Friday. The war in Ukraine now entering its second month. As Amy Kellogg reports, Ukrainian forces are now battling Russian troops for critical Kyiv suburbs.
Intense shelling and gunfire heard around Kyiv on Wednesday. Russia is still struggling to take over the capital city nearly a month after fighting broke out. Ukrainian forces are putting up strong resistance and retaking key suburbs outside of Kyiv. NATO estimates up to 15,000 Russian soldiers have been killed in 4 weeks of war. A U.S. senior defense official says troops are facing declining morale due to a lack of food, fuel, and cold weather gear. Western leaders are concerned what Moscow will do next if the offensive stalls out.
Nuclear options are on the table, kinetic strikes are on the table, military manning on the ground is on the table. Everything's on the table.
The port city of Mariupol continues to see the worst of the fighting. Some 100,000 people are trapped there with no food, water, or medicine. Ukrainian officials say attempts to deliver aid have been cut off. Those who managed to escape the city headed to western Ukraine and say they were lucky to get out.
People don't have water. They drink water that's not even the water you would use for technical purposes. There is no one you can ask for help.
Today, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky spoke with French lawmakers and appealed to Japan's parliament for more help in the form of sanctions.
We need a strong message that cannot break peace. Responsible nations must work together to protect peace.
President Biden meets with allies in Brussels this week, where he is expected to announce more sanctions against Russia. In London, Amy Kellogg, Fox News.
President Joe Biden says chemical warfare is a real threat. Biden stopped to answer reporter questions on Wednesday before departing for Brussels and Poland, where he's meeting with leaders to discuss the Russia-Ukraine war. The CEO of a company that makes a vital farming product says a coming food crisis is a matter of when, not if. The CEO of Yara International, a chemical maker, says the Russia-Ukraine war is causing high spikes in fertilizer. Yara is also a fertilizer maker. He says a food crisis is coming because of higher fertilizer prices and lost fertilizer crop nutrient. Prices jumped 10% on Friday in one market index. Russia supplied 1/5 of all fertilizer exports, according to trade data. One analyst says replacing Russia's lost volumes may take at least 5 years. President Biden's Supreme Court pick, Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, is back on Capitol Hill for another round of questioning in her confirmation hearing. Madeline Rivera is in Washington with more.
On her third day before the Senate Judiciary Committee, Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson was once again pressed on whether she had been too lenient when sentencing child porn offenders.
You think it is a bigger deterrent to take somebody who's on a computer looking at sexual images of children in the most disgusting way is to supervise their computer habits versus putting them in jail?
No, Senator, I didn't say versus.
That's exactly what you said.
It's one of the testy exchanges in a hearing that has also featured other hot-button issues, like abortion, critical race theory, and court packing.
We can't get an answer on court packing from her. Justice Ginsburg was against court packing, said that 9 was the right number.
While Republicans have been frustrated, calling her answers evasive and unclear, Senate Democrats are praising her performance.
Judge Jackson affirmed that she will approach her role on the Supreme Court with prudence, a respect for precedent.
Optimistic she'll make history as the first African-American woman on the nation's highest court, if all 50 of their members can stick together, with Vice President Kamala Harris casting the tie-breaking vote.
You will become a member of the U.S. Supreme Court.
Democrats say Jackson's hearing offers a preview of Republican talking points ahead of the midterm elections, with the Democrats at risk of losing both of their majorities in Congress. In Washington, Malda Rivera, Fox News.
Madeleine Albright, the first woman to serve as U.S. Secretary of State, has died. Albright served as U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations shortly after President Bill Clinton was inaugurated in 1993. Clinton nominated her as Secretary of State 3 years later. She served in the post for 4 years, actively promoting the expansion of NATO and military intervention in Kosovo. Madeleine Albright was 84 years old. President Biden's Supreme Court pick, Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, is back on Capitol Hill for another round of questioning in her confirmation hearing. Madeleine Rivera is in Washington with more.
On her third day before the Senate Judiciary Committee, Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson was once again pressed on whether she had been too lenient when sentencing child porn offenders.
You think it is a bigger deterrent to take somebody who's on a computer looking at sexual images of children in the most disgusting way is to supervise their computer habits versus putting them in jail?
No, Senator, I didn't say versus.
That's exactly what you said.
It's one of the testy exchanges in a hearing that has also featured other hot-button issues, like abortion, critical race theory, and court packing.
We can't get an answer on court packing from her. Justice Ginsburg was against court packing, said that 9 was the right number.
While Republicans have been frustrated, calling her answers evasive and unclear, Senate Democrats are praising her performance.
Judge Jackson affirmed that she will approach her role on the Supreme Court with prudence, a respect for precedent.
Optimistic she'll make history as the first African-American woman on the nation's highest court, if all 50 of their members can stick together, with Vice President Kamala Harris casting the tie-breaking vote.
You will become a member of the U.S. Supreme Court.
Democrats say Jackson's hearing offers a preview of Republican talking points ahead of the midterm elections, with the Democrats at risk of losing both of their majorities in Congress. In Washington, Malda Rivera, Fox News.
Stay with us. We're back with your forecast after this.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Thanks again for checking in as we take a look at your local forecast, and it definitely was cloudier out there today as seen by our webcam from the National Weather Service in Binghamton. Some scattered showers working through as well. Now, this was the radar and satellite picture from earlier in the day when some of the severe thunderstorms are developing to the south and west of us. And again, these thunderstorms rotating north as we take you through the evening and overnight time period. And we do expect to see some of these thunderstorms rumble through the region. I don't think we'll have anything severe close to home, but it will be a little unsettled as temperatures kind of hover around that 40-degree mark. And we'll be waking up to temps around 40, and Thursday average is 25. So again, well above that mark by almost 15 degrees. Sunrise is at 7:03, and then sunset is at 7:23. Daytime high on our Thursday, 10 degrees above the average, topping out at 58. So tonight, showers and a few thunderstorms. It will be a soggy start to our Thursday. We are going to have more rain move in Friday, and then this upcoming weekend, kind of a rain snow mix as our temperatures begin to cool. I think by Monday, the sun will be back, so it will be a few days of more inclement weather here. So again, our severe threat from Wednesday night off to the south and west of us. Again, as we continue through early Thursday morning, this lighter green color indicating that general thunderstorm threat. So as we take you through tonight, again, noticing some yellows and oranges associated with those green blobs, and that indicates maybe a few of those isolated thunderstorms. But as you notice, looking a little bit quieter into Thursday before some additional rain moves on in Thursday night, early Friday morning, and then even more unsettled with another Clipper system as it slides in from the Great Lakes this upcoming weekend. So, as I mentioned, it will be certainly unsettled over the course of the weekend. But here's a look at how much precip we could see again from today into the end of the week, maybe some quarter to half-inch amounts. Certainly depends on where the thunderstorms develop. At 40 degrees when you wake up, well above the average, and southeasterly winds still a bit on the breezy side at 10 to 20 miles per hour. So there's your Thursday morning lows. Again, quite mild. Most of our thunderstorm activity will be with us through the overnight time period, and then kind of drying out early Thursday morning. Again, there will be a few showers early, a damp start to the day, and then we have a period of drier weather through early afternoon before some additional rain showers wrap through the region mid to late afternoon. But daytime highs will be above average, even with the clouds and showers by almost 10 degrees. Wayland at 59, Elmira at 58, Corning will be at 59, and Binghamton up to 53. Again, here's our extended forecast. Cooling off as a Clipper system slides into the region here this weekend. Could see some rain and snow showers, and then staying cooler yet through early next week.
Officers with the Oceanside Police Department in California were on a mission to help people deal with rising gas prices, handing out $50 bills to help drivers deal with the pain at the pump. Liberty Zavala has more.
So today we're handing out $50 for people at the pumps to help offset the cost of rising gas prices.
Man, thank you very much. Oceanside Police is giving out $50 bills to help drivers dealing with pain at the pump.
I have to pay for this pump and this truck, and I get like 8 miles a gallon, so I'm paying like $300 a week.
It's hurt a lot, you know. It's taken away from everything else. It's, you know, it's hard to go out to eat now. It's hard to afford everything, and just getting around, just getting her to daycare and all that stuff has been difficult.
But today was Dylan Garcia's and 29 other drivers' lucky day.
Yeah, that's $50, man.
$50 cash.
That's $50.
Thank you.
Officer Andy Gularte and other Oceanside officers are giving away a total of $1,500 to unsuspecting drivers.
Oh my God, are you kidding me, Kev?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Oh my God, I can't believe that.
Officers received a $20,000 grant from the nonprofit Trauma Intervention Programs, Inc. to make this possible.
It's a cool experience to get out in the community and make people smile and serve in a different way.
This is going to help in so many ways. So I'm really thankful, and thank you very much.
They plan to spread out this grant for operations like this throughout the year to help drivers stay on the road. And Oceanside Police do plan to conduct more of these special giveaway operations every month.
Walkouts staged by Disney employees in California, Florida, and New York hope to send a strong message calling out the company's CEO for responding too slowly and not strong enough to a controversial Florida bill that's being hailed as anti-gay. Kevin Cork has details.
Just stand in support of our queer employees and their families.
Walt Disney Company employees across the country are standing up to what they call blatant LGBTQ discrimination, as workers across multiple states walked out of their jobs Tuesday in protest of their company's response to a controversial piece of Florida legislation. Its official name is the Parental Rights in Education Act, but it's more commonly known by critics as the Don't Say Gay bill. If signed by Florida Republican Governor Ron DeSantis, it would prevent, quote, classroom instruction by school personnel or third parties on sexual orientation or gender identity for students in kindergarten through third grade, as well as preventing students in other grades from learning about these topics in, quote, a manner that is not age appropriate or developmentally appropriate.
Parents need to be in charge. Students are not wards of the state.
Disney employees staging the walkouts say company CEO Bob Chapek did not publicly denounce the bill quick enough. Disney has since paused all political donations in Florida and issued a statement partially saying, we, quote, will not stand for discrimination in any form. We oppose any legislation that infringes on basic human rights.
And we need them to cease donations to the specific politicians that supported and wrote this bill.
Governor Ron DeSantis has expressed support for the bill. He is expected to sign it soon. I'm Kevin Cork, Fox News.
The nation's leading disease research center is working on its distribution of data. An email from the CDC's deputy director highlighted a plan to improve the way it collects and analyzes public health data. The CDC's Data Modernization Initiative is a plan which would integrate data from the state and federal level. According to Politico, that email also highlighted a plan to spend $3 billion to help states hire and train new employees to work with public health data. Microsoft confirms it's been the victim of a cyber attack. The U.S. agrees to lift tariffs on British steel and aluminum, and the average tax refund is much larger than last year's amount. CJ Papa has today's business briefs.
Microsoft claims hackers have managed to gain limited access to its systems. The company says it has been actively tracking the hacking group Lapsus in recent weeks. Identity verification company Okta also confirms it was a target of the same group. Microsoft says a single account was compromised, granting limited access, and its cybersecurity response teams responded quickly to prevent further activity. The United States and the UK striking a trade deal that will end tariffs currently in place between the two countries. Tariffs will be removed on British steel and aluminum products arriving in the U.S., while items like American motorcycles, tobacco products, and whiskey will no longer be slapped with tariffs upon arriving in Britain. This follows similar agreements the U.S. has signed with the European Union and Japan in recent months. And how much will you get back from Uncle Sam? The IRS is saying the average refund this year is $3,352. But that amount could change by the April 18 deadline to file. It's much larger than last year's average of about $2,800. The IRS issuing more than 45 million refunds as of March 11th. For more stories, log on to foxbusiness.com. In New York, I'm CJ Papa.
High fuel prices could mean a rise in seafood prices and boating experiences ahead of the summer months. Joy Addison has more on what consumers could expect.
A day out on the boat enjoying the sun or fishing at your favorite spot may now be a little pricier. You may also find yourself paying more for the crab, shrimp, or crawfish you like to bring to your favorite seafood boil.
Because we do have a lot of trips booked right now, and day by day we're just canceling them.
Gas prices are jacking up the cost of boat rentals and charters, leaving captains like Cody Kinney with two choices: cancel charters that are not profitable or increase ticket prices.
Just having to charge more just because if you look at it, you have a small tank, 20, 30 gallons, it's only a $20 increase. But if you have 300, 400, 500 gallons that you're burning in one trip, that's a big significant change.
The increases are not just hitting the tourism industry.
From our boats that go out fishing to our trucks that deliver the product, everything that we use to run our business, we see at least a 35% increase.
Nello Casarino runs Galveston Shrimp Company. He says passing those prices on to the consumer is not a reliable option.
Because the consumer at some point will stop buying it. It turns into a ripple effect where the plants have to lay off employees, trucks stop moving.
According to the U.S. Energy Information Administration, the price of diesel has nearly doubled over the past 2 years, from averaging $2.40 per gallon in 2020 to more than $4 per gallon this year. Captain Cody Kinney says Galveston Deep Sea Charters has a plan for keeping prices low.
These new engines, the more fuel-efficient engines in the boat, in a timely manner is actually pretty important to us.
But for the seafood industry, Casarino says the fix is not as easy, and we, the consumers, will soon see the trickle-down effect of high fuel.
Even if the boats go out, the price would be so high that the consumer wouldn't buy it.
And just to give you some perspective, the U.S. Department of Agriculture reports the price of fish and seafood rose by about 1.3% in January, and it's expected to rise an average of 3.5 to 4.5% by the end of the year. In Galveston, Texas, Joy Addison, Fox News.
We want to leave you with a smile. Art has gone to the dogs. A robot rover named Spot produced these pieces of art to help Ukraine. Sunrise March was made with an assist from Polish-American artist Agnieszka Pilat, done in a sweeping circle like the sun and splashed colors of Ukraine's blue and yellow. The painting sold this past weekend in San Francisco, fetching $40,000 at a charity auction. Proceeds will aid Polish Dominican friars aiding the war's front lines. Thanks for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your day.